Hey guys, Randy here, coming at you with a fun fidget spinner review. And I just wanted to show you this one. I picked it up at Walmart today. This fidget fidget spinner pin. That's what it is, fidget spinner pin. I've moved my cameras around so that now instead of having my camera that's on the camera that's focusing on the pin that was over here is now directly in front of me. So it may or may not make it easier for me to look at the camera while I'm talking to you so that it looks like I'm talking to you. So anyway, I saw this one at Walmart today. This is the first time I've seen this one at Walmart. I thought it was a really fun, exciting looking fidget spinner. See if I can get up very close to it. And if you notice on this one, it has a little cap that is pressed into the spinner at the top, and at the bottom it has a little plate. So it does operate like a regular pin. You just click the top like that and the pin comes out, and click it again and the pin, and spin it with your thumb if you would. If you've heard, I prefer to spin it with my thumb. I think it's pretty cool to I just saw it and go, wow, that's the kind of way I would like to have a spinner on my pin, because I will sit there and fiddle with my thumb. The only drawback is you will well, for me anyway, I'm a kind of a pin snob, a pin OCD type person. I don't like just any pin. It doesn't really matter a whole lot about the body of the pin. It's the pin ink itself. Let's see if I can get to the ink. Kind of show you what I mean. I haven't even written with this pen yet, but just because of my OCD with pens, I immediately assumed I would not like this. I've only found truly found 4 or 5 pens in the past, oh God, since 2000 that I like to use on a regular basis, and I actually carry one around with me just so that I will have the right kind of pen, because I guess I shouldn't be so OCD about it. I mean, I can write with other pens. It's not a huge problem. It just, if I have my options, I'll use my own pen. And there are just so many places out there that don't have a pen on at the register. When you're looking to sign a credit card receipt, they just don't have a pen there. So I got in the habit of carrying my own pen. And if I'm going to carry my own pen, I'm going to carry the pen I like, of course. So let me, you can see it close up real good there, and see how the little cap is on there. I actually did a warping video of this one, and I'll be inserting the warping video somewhere along in here. And you can see this one, it's got little weights of some kind. They don't look like they're stainless steel. They look like they're chrome plated. So I wouldn't be surprised if these start to rust. This little pen was $4.97 at Walmart. And I've also noticed at Walmart, they're heavily discounting all their spinners right now, except for these, because these are brand new. So of course they're not going to discount those right off the bat. But the regular old plastic tri spinners, they're selling all those for like $1 a piece, where they were, I think $4.97 was the highest price I had seen for a plastic tri spinner at Walmart, whether or not they had the bearings in the outer lobes, or if they had those metal inserts in the outer lobes. And they were between $1 and $3 now. Some of them were $1, some of them were $3. And I actually did a review of a spinner the other day where I don't know, for some reason they were temporarily $2.97. I came back the next day, or day or so later, and they'd actually gone back up to $4.97. Maybe it was a pricing problem, pricing mismatch. Somebody made a mistake. Anyway, those spinners that, the one I did where I compared the Walmart spinner to the Dollar Tree spinner. Yeah. The one that Michael sent me. I don't know if you can see it or not, but Michael, I gotta get back, get the right angle on my finger. I'm going the wrong way. There it is. Michael, there's your spinner right there. Franken sleeve's protecting it. So that's where I'm setting my special spinners, up here, up on this rack for now, unless I replace the rack. Anyway, Franken sleeve, he's enjoying it up there. So I appreciate Michael for sending me that Dollar Tree spinner. That was a lot of fun getting that spinner in the mail, because usually I don't get spinners unless I pay for them. Unless they're from Banggood.com. Banggood, well, you wouldn't consider them exactly free, because I do have to do a review and post their links in exchange for the free spinners they sent me. Anyway, I hope you like this little review here of this pin spinner. I thought it was just a neat alternative spinner. for those, I mean, I'm seeing spinners that are attached to the back of cell phone cases, and to me, those aren't really meeting the objective of a spinner. I mean, the whole point of a spinner is to have feedback. To me, at least to me, it's to have feedback. So if it's on the back of a phone, you know, you're setting the phone down, you're got it on your hip, whatever. You really can't just sit there and spin it the way you can spin this one. So yeah, this one's got some very little feedback to it. You can hear it. You can hear it a little bit. It's making a little bit of noise, but it does. But it's a very, very smooth spin. I mean, there's no vibration. It doesn't feel like it's off center. If you want to call it judder, it doesn't really have judder. It's more like the pin top shaft right here. That little shaft jiggles back and forth, and you might be able to hear my phone ringing in there. Sorry about that. Anyway, I don't know exactly how this one will come off. It looks like it's got a metal cap that's pressed on there, not a screw cap. Unless I'm completely wrong. I'm turning it right now, and it feels like it's turning. So let's see if I can unscrew it. That would be really cool, because that means I can maybe swap out the spinners. Yeah, it actually does. It has threads. I'm surprised. Call me surprised. Color me surprised. Yeah. Wow. Look, I can't tell. That looks like it is. I'm pretty sure that is a steel bearing in there. It does have a bearing guide, so the guide is covering the bearings up. See if I can get the thing to focus properly in there. I learned that little trick the other day. I saw somebody was trying to focus in a small object, and it wouldn't focus. They put part of their hand, actually they put their hand in the screen like this, and it caused the camera to go into focus. So I'm going to try that trick more often, see if it goes back into focus or not. See, it's kind of blurry right there. But as soon as I put my finger in there, so you put a big object in there, and all of a sudden the camera can figure out what you're trying to focus on, apparently. So maybe y'all can see it in there. I can't tell if those are steel or ceramic bearings, but just based on the price, I would think these are steel bearings. This looks like a R188 bearing. Might not be, because let me pull the cap off this one here. I know this one is an R188 for certain, and we'll compare the opening on the bearing and the physical size of the outer bearing hub, and we'll see. Maybe we won't see. See that? And I don't have my little tool to open this thing up, so that's going to suck. So you can see comparison to the openings. If I can get those right there together, that the one on my left, I guess that would. The blue one actually has a bigger opening than the one on the right. So, but that doesn't really. I don't believe that matters a whole big bunch when you're talking about bearing sizes, because I have noticed on a lot of spinners that they will say they'll have like a 608 or a 188 R188 size bearing in them, but I can see from the pictures that the opening. This opening right here is different sizes, so they can change out the size of the bearings they're using in the spinner, or they can change out the size of the actual individual bearings in the hub itself, so that can affect the bearing size. I mean the inside diameter of the fidget spinner bearing. Anyway, I was going to see if this would fit onto this spinner, but it's not. Let's try it on this one. I think all these are going to have the exact same size bearing, and we'll see. Give a good look at that one. Get my hand in the camera there so it'll zoom in or focus in properly. If I can get that straightened out. That's the back side. Here's, I guess, which is the back side here? Anyway, I'm all screwed up. Anyway, that's the side with the cover on the bearing. So these are R188s, and this does not fit. So maybe if I had a pencil with a eraser on it, shove it on the eraser, but that kind of kills the whole point, I believe. Oh, let me try this one. This is my white one here, my white spinner. Pull the caps off it real quick and see if, drop that. Come on now, come on cap. These caps are well fitted on there, so that's a good thing, unless you're trying to get things off in a hurry. So look, This is a 608 bearing. And that one fits pretty perfectly. I mean, there's very, very little play in there. And once I put the cap back on it, so if you've got a spinner with a 608 or maybe even a 609 bearing, they're about the same size. The spinner may be transferable. Now I can't get the, well, the cap is screwed down as tight as it possibly can get. I was trying to compare to see if these are a little bit thicker, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but the blue one is slightly thicker than the white one. It's hard to tell with the way the light's hitting the white one. It's just kind of white all over, so it's hard to see the edges without a shadow. But anyway, the blue one is a bit thicker. Doesn't matter to me because the cap did press down there completely on the bearing and tightened up good. So you see me shaking it. That shaking is actually the body of the pin shaft, the clicker shaft, this part, moving around. So yeah, hey, I got my own Laughing Walrus pin spinner. Now if it was just white to match it. Now if I can just figure out how to put this cap on my favorite pin, because I do have a clicker pin that I carry around my back pocket all the time. And maybe you can hear the sound. Not too bad. Yeah, I can see myself using this at my desk when I'm waiting for my YouTube videos to upload or waiting for a page to load. Actually, I think I like this a lot. Too bad that Walmart only had this one and one red one left. And I would have got the red one, but it didn't have a tag on it. I didn't want to have the hassle of fighting with the clerk about waiting for a price check and that kind of stuff. I would have preferred the red one. Actually, I would have preferred it in black myself, but didn't have that option. So they only had about, I guess, maybe a 20 or 24 pack of these on the end cap for this style of pin fidget spinner. Ooh. Look at that. That's cool. I think with the sunlight coming through the window and the light from all my lighting kits, I may actually have a pretty cool looking strobe effect going on there. I like that 3D look right there at that angle. That's pretty cool. See if I can get it pretty close and see if it'll do anything. It's almost warping, almost. There's just not enough light in here, that's all. But this white one, it does have a really nice strobe effect to it all the time. I'm not sure why it has such a nice effect or why I like it so much, but I like that blurry white. And these, I don't know, I guess maybe it's these steel colored inserts that do it, but sometimes it'll have a yellow hue to it, a yellow color around the metal part as it's spinning. Or those little, I guess it looks like little leaves. Those will turn yellow, or they'll have a yellow outline around them, even though there's no yellow on the spinner itself. If I can get that in the sunlight just right. See what happens when I slow it down a little bit. Nope, it's just not enough light coming in the window. The sun's covered up right now, so that's keeping a lot of light out of the room. But I have done a warping video on this one before. I just can't get to the video because the video is, I would put it in here, but the video itself, the original video, is stored on my RAID system, my external backup system, my RAID. It's got four hard drives in it, and the power supply. I made a mistake and I left it on the floor during the hurricane, and it got soaked. And I've attempted to buy a couple of replacements so far, and the DC adapter tip that plugs into the RAID box itself, they've all been a bust. They've been too big, and I've got a new one coming that should arrive today that it has multiple tips. So one of those dozen tips on the new one that's coming in, it should work. If it doesn't work, I'm going to just break down and cut the end off of my old power adapter, which has the correct tip, and solder it onto the power supply leads coming out of the new ones that have the bigger tip. I should have done it earlier. I just didn't want to do that. I wanted that factory look to it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this little fidget spinner review, fidget spinner pen review. And I'll talk to you later.